Wow.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is the man, it is the myth, it is the legend, it is based off Profondo, baby. Anyway, I'm here today with another lesson. First off, I'd like to congratulate Haley Burton, or Hala Burton, where I live at today, Florida. She was crowned as Miss Tampa in the beauty pageant, and I'd like to give her her flowers. You know, I'm more of the I don't hate, I congratulate. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna start my. This is pretty much a part of the thesis of the class for the female side, and then I'm gonna tell you about that more. But anyway, and then on the male side for the thesis, I wanted to talk about Drake because he was the greatest artist of 2024, but suddenly it's kind of like his fans kind of forgot about him, and I was kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? It's true what Jay-Z say, you know, you don't fall in love with fame, that's how you end up like Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Or like Tupac. You know that they try to put him underwater with the rape charges and stuff. But anyway, I wanted to say this is part of my thesis. Everybody's favorite rapper, pretty much. I guess not anymore. But like 2 years ago, for me, I was never really a fan of Drake. I haven't listened to Drake since 2012, 2013. I never bought none of the albums. Couldn't even tell you what song is out 2 years ago or what last CD he came out with. But I'm just saying this for everybody that's his fans and stuff. This is a part of the beginning of my video. But honestly, Drake is a great example of what I'm about to talk about today because he's pretty much like the Empire State Building. He was built like the Empire State Building, and but they built him on an iceberg and he dropped. You know what I'm saying? And this is the theory of why I feel like a man shouldn't be handed nothing. Like his mom took care of him. You guys can say his dad's from Memphis. That means something, but he's never been to Memphis because we don't have no pictures of him in Memphis as a kid, so we can't really claim that. Remember, he's Canadian. So he's honestly he's been handed everything, right? He's not really an underdog. He don't know how to retain his spot in history, and this is why he fell off like he did. But anyway, this is the thesis of my video. Girls must be raised delicate as a flower to be plucked by the perfect guy is equal to boys must be raised hard to become her man of steel. All right, y'all. Anyway, women like it hard, okay? Women don't want a soft guy. Women don't want a guy in high heels. She don't want a guy that wears makeup. Women don't want a guy that stands in the mirror too long. Okay, so basically, you gotta be to maintain. Basically, I was just talking about the Drake situation and why he fell like he did. Because what you have to understand about Drake is I did some research on him, and like he pretty much been handed his position. You know what I'm saying? The Degrassi thing, he didn't have to work to become a Degrassi anything because you got to understand his people are Jewish, so they own they pretty much own the industry. They own all the Hollywood stuff that you see, the social media sites, the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the pretty much Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. So due to them owning that, like he always had an inheritance to become something. It would be little that Drake could understand us at the bottom that really been at our last $5. You know what I'm saying? But see, that plays a double-edged sword. And this is why he kind of fell off like he did, because he wasn't really built like that. I mean, we heard that he had a rider back then, and he had somebody that was already riding for him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can see it kind of in the music videos, kind of the way he dances and stuff, and he used to do the antique stuff and stuff, but like that's why we didn't really take him serious, and that's why he fell off like he did, and you got to wondering like where he went. But see, this is like how a boy is built, and if you don't build men right or raise them right, you know what I'm saying, which is a good example of a man in front of them, they could become quite docile. You know what I'm saying? Because like most mama's boys are. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with loving your mom. There's nothing wrong having a relationship with your mom. It's actually a great thing that you have a relationship with your mom. But at the same time, when it comes to when it comes to the woman you love and your mom, you got to understand both of them can't be under one roof. It just doesn't work like that. Like, it would never work out. You would have to end up either buying your mom a house, or you're gonna have to move your girl out of the house. I've seen this before, and they chose the mom, and then the girl had to go get on. She had to go find a man that can be a man, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what you have to understand is there's gonna be a point where it's just not gonna work out. Okay? These two women in your life are not gonna be under one roof. You have to be a man at some point. And if you want to climb that ladder of success, like most men, like 50 Cent, Donald Trump, these people that I'm naming, you don't really see their mom. Chris Brown, you see how they keep accelerating in life and keep climbing the ladder higher? It's because they're not by their mom. These are real men. So, but you see most men that's by their moms, even in your life, even when you go to school, work, it doesn't matter where you go. You see the men that's next to their mom, they can't really have a woman to themselves because the woman's not going to accept you having your mom around her 247 and she's around. It's not going to work out. It's like the first theory I said in my first video with the two female dogs. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fight at some point, and it's going to be a point where you're going to have to separate them. Women like it. What you have to understand about women, they like it hard. And they want someone who's experienced. They know what they're doing. They want someone who can protect them and provide for them. Because this is going to be a good example of a man that can be a great father for their kids. And then men, we like it soft. Okay? We want to be the first ones. Men always want to be first place, whether they say it or not, even though every woman has a lineup of men. You know what I'm saying? But we always want to be first place. We want it soft. We want it just like in my last videos that I said, we want you like the clay. Because we want to be the first ones to mold you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand, I already told you, 1 to 3 million in Dubai or in the Middle East are like fucking the great Emirates countries. You know what I'm saying? For a virgin girl. But like, see, that's soft. For a man that's a fucking virgin, that's fucking, no. And don't no girl want no man that's a virgin. She want a man that's experienced. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad that I lost my virginity when I was like 8, you know what I'm saying, and shit, and, it was probably illegal, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, back to the subject. Women, anyway, that's the end of that. Women, anyway, want a man that's already experienced. They don't want nobody that's soft that don't know what they're doing, okay? That's why nice guys got to finish last. And on top of that, here's a fact for you. I'm going to throw something out with the Census Bureau. Men that go to jail, they are more likely to have kids than men that don't. That completely defined my whole situation of being erected to being hard and the soft. That's the pure definition right there. Women prefer like a masculine, just like men prefer feminine. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me wrap this up. I've been talking too long. This is my conclusion. I'm saying this because I don't have any kids yet at 36. I just turned 36 on St. Patrick's Day, y'all. But anyway, I don't have any kids yet, but when I have a daughter, I'm gonna be the best father and the best manly figure that I can. You know what I'm saying? Because one day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have to hand my daughter off to another man, and there's nothing that I can do about that. So I gotta make sure this is why she's gonna get everything that she wants, because I'm gonna raise the standard. You're gonna have to work hard to get her. You know what I'm saying? So then when I hand her off, I can die in peace. Now as for my son, he's not gonna get everything. He's gonna work a little hard. If he asks me for anything, from age 4, I would say 5, he's gonna work for it. I'm not gonna make him work like a slave, but I'll never just hand it to him because, see, a child doesn't understand the value of $1 if they don't. And when they don't, this is where they could get on drugs. This is where they can misspend their inheritance, their pension. So I have to be hard on him, because when I die and I hand him my inheritance, which will probably be a couple of millions, he has to know how to manage that so he can navigate his way through life and pave his way to success. Because I can't show him that. None of our parents can. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Like me on Facebook, like me on Instagram, like me on YouTube. Have a good day. Peace.